Good afternoon and welcome to using eVal 2.0 for artifacts and year-to-date evidence. Thank you for joining me. My name is Christina Wombold and I'm the Digital Learning Coach and eVal support for ESD 112. Today, we are going to develop the knowledge and skills and confidence to begin using the new version of eVal for artifacts and year-to-date evidence. During this webinar, we are going to be playing in the hands-on sandbox. We're going to be using fictitious scenarios, and we're going to be signing in as both an administrator and an educator, although mostly as an administrator today. The work you see done in the system has been pre-selected work by the district administrator of eVal, and you will note that the user guide that I've mentioned in previous webinars is listed here at bit.ly/evalhelp. eVal 2.0 has a drastic shift to the collection of evidence and has drastically improved the system from the original eVal tool. Anything you see in your eVal tool has been configured by your district administrator. This is not necessarily a district administrator such as a principal or superintendent. However, this is the district administrator for eVal, which could be somebody in HR or a building secretary. The tool is still under development, and as we go out throughout the training, things may change. With that being said, I'm learning along with you as things change. In preparation for today, the building principal has already uploaded several artifacts and connected them to an observation. They have already been aligned and scored to the rubric framework. The teacher has also done this in a self-assessment and connected artifacts to support her claims or their claims, and has attached several artifacts listed directly to the framework. I'm going to be using the eVal sandbox. This is a wonderful tool for all, and let's get started. I've logged into the eVal sandbox, and I'm going to just back up a little bit to show you what it looks like when you first log in. When you log into the eVal system, in the left-hand corner, it shows you who you are logged in as. Today, I'm logged in as Principal A in Battleground School District, and my role is to evaluate teachers. As an administrator, I can also select to prepare for my own evaluation. The front dashboard just gives me overall status of what's going on with various teachers in my building. It gives me an overall view of the observations that I am to conduct and where I'm at. It shows me student growth overall status. And you will notice that I have a green marker on the left-hand side that marks dashboard. And then I am working within the tabs across the screen from left to right. I have a summative evaluation window to look at, and I have a coverage window to look at, which will be very helpful as we go through collecting evidence today. If I work down the side panel, I have artifacts, evidence, which is year-to-date evidence, student growth goals, observations, self-assessment, summative evaluation, setting up the system, report archives, resources, and training modules. I can use this button here to connect or reduce the menu so that I have more screen space. Up here in the top, I can toggle between the Danielson Instructional Framework and the Danielson State. This may be different for each district, but all district frameworks will have the state version and the instructional version. In the Account menu, I will have the option to set up email notifications. I also have a help menu over here that has a help center, release notes, which you should look at quite often to see what has happened, and some rubric references. Now that we're familiar with the navigation, I'm going to go ahead and pop directly into Teacher A. And Teacher A has already got a lot of things going. And I can see a summary of what has happened with Teacher A. And these new orange indicators share with me that something new has happened in here. And I have 3 observations and they've all been marked as complete. I also have some self-assessment data And I have some other evidence data. And the teacher has given me some student growth data. And then it lists all the recent activity that has happened today. And way down at the bottom is the packaged data. Going up to the top, I'm going to pop into an observation. And we're going to need this for later, so I'm going to go ahead and click Add an Observation, and I'm going to start an informal observation. And in this informal observation that I'm going to say happens today, and let's go ahead and just have it magically happen at 4:45 at night. And we're going to say I'm going to pop in for 15 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and observe. As I observe, I'm going to observe the teacher reviewed learning target for the lesson. Students repeated learning target and provided evidence of understanding. And now I'm going to highlight this text here and I'm going to score it. So I'm going to say it shows knowledge of resources, engaging students in learning. I can come down here and I'm going to do that's also engaging students in learning. When I go over to the next button, I can align and score. When I go in here, I'm going to be able to see, oh, I grabbed two information for engaging students in learning. I think these both show proficiency. And as I select on these, I can then package them. By packaging these, they're going to show up in the year-to-date evidence that we may want to look at a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and say these both show the learning tasks and activities. And I'm going to create a package. And it gives me a little, yeah, you did it. This is going to be important for our final report, our year-to-date. If I go to artifacts in this, it doesn't let me add an artifact directly in this observation. Rather, I'm going to have to click over to the Artifacts tab, and this is where we're going to get started adding an artifact to that observation. You will notice that the Artifacts tab shows several layers of artifacts. On the left-hand side shows the date. Next to it is the title of each artifact, the source of who created the artifact, whether it was the teacher or the administrator. There's only two sources. If it's been shared with the administrator or the teacher, a link to click on and look at the file. There are several files that we can upload. We can upload a file, a professional practice, or a website. We will see if it's connected to an assessment, such as a self-assessment, an observation, or a student growth goal. And then we will see what the rubric alignment has been assigned to it. I'm going to add an artifact. I can leave the artifact titled exactly what it looks like here, or I can change this title. I have three options that we're going to go through. The first option is to add a file. And when I select add a file, I have several choices for where to add my file from. I can choose my local hard drive, find a file, and attach it just like I would an email. I can select the camera and take a picture using the camera on my computer. I can do a link, and I will basically just copy and paste a link in here. I can grab a Facebook post, connect to my Google Drive, and pull up an artifact from there. I can use Dropbox, Instagram, Evernote, Flickr, or upload from my OneDrive. For today's purposes, I'm just going to select a local file on my computer, and I'm going to select a parent newsletter. I can add a friendly title if my file was named something like 43082 so that somebody would understand it better, but my file is named pretty well. And I'm going to select Done. You'll notice over here on the artifact creation checklist, it has highlighted or shaded in the circle for attached items. I'm going to now align it. This shows some professional communication with families. It also shows professionalism as it was well done. I can now attach that to that informal observation. Now I understand that this may not be an artifact that makes sense for that observation, but for today's purposes, I'm just going to attach it here. You will notice that you do not need to attach it to an observation or an assessment, but I'm going to today, just so I could show you that. I have a place down here below that says provide reasoning for your alignment choices. This is also optional. And then I have one circle that has not been shaded in, and this is the share artifact. I can choose to share this artifact now, or I can save and close. It will be listed in the artifact menu, and I can share it another date. I'm going to share this artifact. And you will see that it has come up here on the bottom, and it's connected to the observation and has been aligned to 4C and 4D under domain D4. Let's do that one more time. This time we're going to add a website. And I've placed a website link in here. It loads up over here. Note of caution, this does not check to make sure that the link is accurate. So you should click on here and make sure that it links directly out to the site you were intending before clicking save and close. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say this is also a way for me to show professionalism and to communicate with families. And I'm not going to align it to an observation or a self-assessment this time. It says shared artifacts by default will be added to the year-to-date events collection and the student growth area when relevant rubric components are selected. You can optionally connect this artifact to additional new items below. Very nice. And now you'll see I don't have this one shaded in, and I don't have this last one shaded in until I say share artifact. Now I've uploaded a website artifact and it's not connected to an observation, student growth goal, or self-assessment, and it is aligned over here. One more time. And this time we're going to do a professional practice. And in this case, I'm going to do PLC data assessment. And when I click on Add a Professional Practice, it opens up a window that I can just type in information. So in here, I'm going to say 5th grade team worked together to build a common assessment and then graded the common assessment as a team and select Done. When I scroll down in here, I'm going to be able to look at professional responsibilities, and it looks like this is going to be part of a professional community, and I'm sure this helped with growth and development of their profession, as well as using assessment in instruction. And I'm going to select Done. I'm not going to align it again, and I'm going to come down here and share this artifact. Quick review that we've uploaded 3 different artifacts at this time. We have uploaded a file, the parent newsletter, we've uploaded a website, and we've uploaded a professional practice. All three of those have been aligned to the framework, and in this case, that's the Danielson Instructional Framework. We are now going to go down to the year-to-date evidence window and see what has changed. When I open up the year-to-date evidence window, it just shows me a list of the components until I go in and select the individual components. And it shows me a list of evidence up here, and it would show me any packaged evidence below. At this point, I know there's some packaged evidence under that classroom procedures. So I have collected evidence up here, and I have packaged evidence down here below. This is a quick overview of how to attach artifacts within the eVal system and how to view year-to-date evidence. Remember, year-to-date evidence isn't added until it's been packaged, scored, shared, and completed within the observation window. So let's go back to the observation window and complete that observation that we started at the beginning. It says still in progress, so I'm going to click View. And I'm going to go into Align and Score. And we're going to come in here and see what I want to align and score this time. We'll go back down to that engaging students in learning is what I aligned and scored already. Remember, I packaged it by clicking on the two, highlighting the area, and then creating a package below. We've given it a score of proficient, and so now we're going to send the final report to the educator. We're going to mark it as complete. And now we're going to go back to the year-to-date evidence. We're going to scroll down here to that classroom environment, managing classroom procedures, and we see that we have the information below here. I also believe we've done this under engaging students in learning. Now I have 4 pieces of evidence above, and I have 2 pieces of evidence below that have been packaged and aligned to the rubric and scored. I can toggle my navigator rubric over here to performance, and I can see that I have received a proficient in D2 under C2, managing classroom procedures, as well as under instruction, engaging students in learning. Before we end our time today, I wanted to assure that everybody has access to our tutorials, both our user guide and our live webinars that will be uploaded to the system upon captioning. When you navigate to the ESD 112 TPEP/eval page, you will see Recorded Webinar tab. You will see older webinars as well as newer updated webinars here. The newer webinars do have captions, and today I will replace this Managing Artifacts and Evidence in eVal 2.0 with this webinar currently. Thank you for your time this evening, and have a wonderful day.